right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to European Higher Education Fair Indonesia 2023. My name is Puji, and I'm going to be your moderator for today. For this last session at Auditorium 1, we are going to talk about study in Latvia and Slovakia with speakers from Study in Latvia and Slovak Academic Information Agency, SAIA, Study in Slovakia. Thank you for being here with us. Now I'd like to invite our speakers to introduce themselves and their institutions, starting from Latvia and then Slovakia.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Dara from Study in Latvia. So we're a national agency in Latvia, part of State Education Development Agency. And we promote studies in Latvia for international students. So hello, everyone.
Hello, so nice to have you here.
Hello, my name is Simona Mahutova. I work for SAIA, and it stands for Slovak Academic Information Agency. And we are a non-profit and non-governmental organization assisting in internationalization of education and research in Slovakia since 1990. And simply said, we want foreign students to come to Slovakia, and we also support Slovaks who would like to go abroad. So once again, hello, everyone.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. So before we begin, I would like to invite the audience to ask their questions on YouTube chat box, and we will answer them during the Q&A session. So to begin the talk show, I would like to ask this to all speakers. Latvia and Slovakia have their own cultural identities. How do your respective programs and universities help international students immerse themselves in the local culture and experience a truly immersive study abroad journey? We can start probably with Slovakia.
Okay. So I would say that if students choose to study in Slovakia, or if they choose Slovakia as a study destination, they will find out that it is not only about obtaining a degree, because Slovak universities offer a lot of extracurricular activities, especially when student organizations are involved. Simply said, that students can do sports, sign in a corps, go hiking in the mountains, and the nature in Slovakia is very beautiful, so this is somehow connected, and they can do so much more. So from my point of view, I think that Slovak universities encourage students not to only study in Slovakia, but get to know the country, its people, culture, and of course, our beautiful nature.
All right, thank you very much. How's it like in Latvia?
So in Latvia, the universities, they have an integral part of their study programs that are taught in English, a language study opportunity. So they're studying Latvian language to help them immerse into the local culture, to help them get by in the shops or markets or in the streets when they need to ask for directions or so on. Also, all the universities offer many extracurricular activities similar to Slovakia as mentioned. So students get to have sort of cultural events where they exchange cultures, where they represent their national foods, national dance, national traditions, and exchange them, sort of like culture evening and so on. And then there are many other activities organized by student unions and the universities themselves as well, that help students to get to know each other, the local students to get to know international students and so on. There are also buddy systems, so often international students are assigned a local buddy that helps them integrate into the local culture as well. So those would be the main things.
All right, thank you very much. Now, I'd like to hear more about the key academic strength in your institutions or programs in both Latvia and Slovakia that make them an attractive options for Indonesian students, specifically seeking higher education in Europe. Maybe you can start with Latvia.
So the key academic strength for Latvian universities would be the close cooperation with the industries. A lot of our universities are working closely with the different companies from the industry. So, for example, this is just one example. For example, within a marketing program or course, the university may welcome companies from the industry and to invite them to give projects to the students to work individually or in groups. So they're actually working already during their studies on practical projects for the companies. So they get not just only the academic experience, but also the practical experience and knowledge. And often this is a way they can present themselves to the company and already show their skills to later have it placement as an internship for those companies, or for example, for work after their studies or besides their studies. Another strength that our students have highlighted is also this, because Latvia is a rather small country and the university groups and courses are not that big, the students always have this individual approach possibility. They can access the professors, often even director, approach them to ask questions or help or anything they need during their studies. And those would be the main things that our students have highlighted. And of course, the degree is internationally recognized, so they have all the career possibilities after their studies in Latvia.
All right, thank you very much. So we've mentioned about how there are a lot of things that both Latvia and Slovakia have to offer as a study destination. But I would like to hear more about beyond academics, like what extracurricular activities, cultural events, or unique experiences that are available for international students in your countries. Probably we can start with Slovakia and then Latvia.
Okay, so as I already said, that during studying in Slovakia, it is not only about obtaining a degree. And as I mentioned, Slovak universities offer a lot of extracurricular activities, especially when students' organizations are involved. And as my colleague from Latvia mentioned, that we also have some specific organization, for example, ESN, Erasmus Students Network, and they really do a great job at Slovak University. So the system of ESN organization is very strong, and it means that students coming to Slovakia have their own body. So it's someone who somehow help foreign students coming to Slovakia to get to know the country, get to know the university, etc. So I think that this is one of the most important thing which make life of foreign students easier.
All right, thank you. So let's hear it. How is it like in Latvia?
So yeah, similarly in Latvia, we are also, as I mentioned before, have these student organizations. ESN, this Erasmus Student Network, is one of them. And this is not just for the Erasmus students, it's also for the full degree international students. They organize many parties for students, of course, but there's also other activities such as cultural trips within Latvia. And one of the really highlight sort of activities for Latvian Student Network is the Lapland trip. So they organize for students for opportunity to go to Lapland, experience real winter, northern lights, and so on. But such similar activities are organized also by the university student unions, which are the smaller unions. And then there's also different groups, sort of team university unions, where you can join like with different themes like Asian Union and so on. So students can get integrated within their culture, in the local culture as well. But then there's a lot of activities, also the culture nights that I mentioned before, and for students there are also, once you get the student card, you get different discounts for general activities outside the university, like museums, cinema, anything, you name it. Yes, different concerts too.
Maybe I would like to add one more thing that I that I forgot to mention, that also have organization SAIA, because we administrate many scholarship programs for incoming students, for foreign students. And we also do some kind of events for our scholarship holders. We call it university tours, and it's some kind of networking activity for students, PhD students, and also for university teachers and researchers who are here in Slovakia in the framework of our national, of our scholarship programs. So we, for example, do some trips with them to High Tatras and sightseeing of some university cities in Slovakia. So this is also something that we try to do for foreigners coming to Slovakia in order to integrate them into our society.
All right, thank you very much. I think both of you had highlighted a very interesting point that's probably going to be one of the reasons why people are interested in studying in Europe in general, which is the rich history and unique traditions, and Latvia and Slovakia are no exception to this. Both your countries have very long history that's very attractive to people. That's why people are coming to your countries. So how do your programs incorporate these aspects into the educational experience? I noticed the part that's very interesting for me personally is the student discounts to museums. That's probably one of the, like the very attractive point, like, okay, so I get to learn from other places outside of the classrooms as well. So yeah, probably we could start with SAIA, and then we go with study in Latvia. You're still on mute?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry for that. Yeah,
No
as it was mentioned, that if a student have a ISIC card, the student card, students in Slovakia has many discounts in museums at Citeras, and also if they want to visit castles, this is also a discount for the castles. And Slovakia is very well known for the amount of castles, because we have the most castles per capita in Europe. So if someone is interested in history, the Slovakia is the right destination. And with this somehow can be also connected traveling in Slovakia, because for students, also for international students with ISIC, traveling by train is for free. So this is very interesting fact. So if someone would like to travel to some museums, not in that specific city where is the university, it means that it will be free for that person if he needs to travel by train. So this is something connected.
All right, thank you. Next, for study in Latvia, how is it like in your country?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we also have the same ISIC card that I mentioned before, which gives a lot of discounts and opportunities for students to explore the local cultures within museums and so on. But also generally within the study programs, it depends on what the study program is, whether it's cultural related or not. I mean, some engineering programs may not be so directly related to history or culture. However, the professors will always bring the history of this specific field within Latvia as well, and show this. And also a great part that is within Latvian English taught programs, there is often local students studying as well. So for example, when they have these discussions on different topics within the classrooms, or they work on projects together, it's really great to always have all these perspectives from different international student backgrounds, because for every country the fields are different and how things work within the field are different. But they also get this Latvian local perspective, not only from the professors but also from the local students, because often even the professors are also international professors within English top programs, but they get from the students then this Latvian perspective too.
All right. I think that's a very interesting answer from both of you while talking about culture and considering that language is also a significant part of culture, it can be very helpful in understanding each other's culture when you speak the language. But it can also be a barrier when you don't really speak the language, especially for international students who are not native English speakers. So how do your programs assist non-native speakers in terms of language preparation and cultural adaptation? And okay, hello, I am back. So I was in the middle of my question. Glad to be back. So my question was going to be about language support to help international students, especially non-native speakers, not necessarily native English speakers, but also people who are not really fluent in national languages of Latvia and Slovakia. So what kind of support do you offer them? We can probably start from Latvia and then Slovakia.
Mm-hmm. So as I mentioned before, like for English taught programs, the international students have the opportunity to learn Latvian language. It's usually something around 3 ECTS credit points, which is around 80 hours of their study courses that they spend towards learning Latvian language, at least these basics of Latvian language, so that they can be integrated for them to help within the society. But generally also in Latvia, most people speak English, especially the younger generations, but also the older generations can easily speak English and help you out. But yeah, having this knowledge from the study programs of Latvian language can definitely help with that too.
Well, I think that in Slovakia, it depends if someone is coming for full study in Slovakia or if it's just a short mobility. Because if student would like to study in Slovak language, because many students want to study in Slovak language because they don't need to pay tuition fee. So in that case, we have some language centers in Slovakia in different university cities. And there is one very famous center in capital city Bratislava. And they taught preparatory courses of Slovak language. And for those who are coming just for a shorter mobility in the framework of, for example, SAIA scholarship programs, or if it's an Erasmus students, I think that each university in Slovakia, they have some specific lessons of basic Slovak. So this is also the way how universities support foreign students. Because in Slovakia, we don't have a problem with English, especially the young generation, as similar as in Latvia. Everybody speaks English, but there can be some difficulties, for example, with older generation in some offices or in some specific shops. So this is the reason why they can attend the language or the Slovak lessons. And of course, it's for free for international students coming to Slovakia.
All right, thank you so much for that. I would like to hear more about how is it like in both Latvia and Slovakia when it comes to international students who have finished their studies, and then how their education has specifically impacted their lives and careers. Do you have any success stories or experiences that you can share with us? Probably from Latvia first and then Slovakia.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there are many success stories when it comes to international students who have graduated universities in Latvia. As I said, the degrees are internationally recognized. So we have, I can tell of specific examples that we know of as well. from the national agency side, we have a student from Vietnam, for example, who is studying now master's. She's already writing her master thesis, and she has opened the shop, Asian's food shop in Latvia, and it's really successful, as there wasn't really any opportunities. Well, there were many opportunities, but there weren't any existing such businesses already in Latvia that would offer this. So she found her niche, and she's really successful with that, and she has moved here with all her family. Another success story is actually a Sri Lankan student who is finished Riga Technical University, and he's now working for the marketing agency who actually does the promotion and helps with the promotional activities of study in Latvia as well. So he's integrated within that and still connected to this. But there are many such stories, and there's also many international students who continue successfully with their careers back home as well once they return, many in diplomatic work or their embassies at home or their embassies in Latvia, but similarly also in different international companies after their graduation. Yes.
All right, thank you. Next from Slovakia.
Yeah, similarly in Slovakia, we also have many successful stories, and with a university diploma, the chance to find an employment after completion of the study in Slovakia is very high. And we are always happy that someone who complete study here in Slovakia stay in Slovakia after completion of the study. And few months ago or 1 year ago, we did some kind of changes in law. And for example, after completion of the study, students can stay in Slovakia for the purpose of job seeking and starting a business. So we gave them 9 months to do this. So this is also something that helps students. And yeah, we have many specific successful stories. And I know that many students coming from India do very similar thing as students in Latvia. So students coming to India open some kind of shops and Indian restaurants in our capital city, not only after completion of the study, because so many of them are coming to study technology, but they start their own business during the university studies. So I think this is also some kind of success story.
All right, thank you very much. From study in Latvia, do you have anything to add?
Oh yeah, I would just add that we also have the similarly that students often start their businesses already during their studies, and in Latvia there are also bachelor students are allowed to work part-time and master students full-time besides their studies. So often they start their careers already earlier. As I said, through internships or through these projects, they often find placements already during their studies, and then the companies are interested in keeping them after their studies as well. And we also have this opportunity to extend the study residence permit after studies by 4 months, and for master students by 9 months to find a job in case they haven't found it already during the studies.
All right, thank you very much. So one more question before we move on to questions from the audience. I'd like to ask both of you, in terms of living in Latvia and Slovakia respectively as international students, could you provide insights into the average living expenses in your respective countries and offer some advice on how students can manage their finances while studying in Latvia or Slovakia? From Slovakia first.
Okay, so living costs for students in Slovakia vary depending, of course, on the city, type of accommodation, and also on the day-to-day necessities and lifestyle of a student. But it is estimated that from 400 euros up to 700, let's say 700 euros is enough to cover all student necessity. And of course, it depends if a student decides to live at the dormitory or private apartment. And as I already mentioned, or I don't know, my colleague from Latvia mentioned that students can have a part-time job during their studies. So this is also something that can really help to get some money. And yeah, that's it. That they can have a part-time job. So if they don't have a scholarship, they can find a job and to earn some money. And as we mentioned, that we have many discounts for students studying in Slovakia, as free traveling by trains, then many discounts at different shops, etc.
All right, thank you so much. Next.
Yeah, and for case with Latvia, it's similar living expenses as for Slovakia, so it's around 450 to maximum, I would say, 800 euro per month. It very much depends on one's personal lifestyle and the choice of accommodation. And there are dormitories available where students, four people share dorms together for around 70 euro per month. So this could reduce highly the cost of living, but it can get even higher depending if the student chooses to live on their own. For example, rent an apartment instead of living in the dorms, that will be more expensive. But yeah, generally this is very affordable, and the Latvian state also offers actually scholarships to cover these living expenses. So for Indonesian students, they're all eligible for the scholarship and they can apply. So for bachelor and master students, this is 500 euro per month, and for PhD students, 700 euro per month. So the excellent students can get this scholarship to help them with living expenses. But yeah, it can be also arranged with the university to put it towards covering a tuition fee as well, if the student chooses to.
All right, thank you so much. I'm sure that after talking about this for almost 30 minutes, I'm sure that it's been helping for the audience getting to know the education opportunities in Latvia and Slovakia universities better. So now it's time for us to respond to questions from the audience. First question is related to student housing situation. So the members of the audience wants to hear about the kind of housing options available in both Latvia and Slovakia, and whether or not there are dedicated housing options and websites for those as well. So probably we can start with Slovakia and then Latvia.
Well, so students, also international students in Slovakia, they prefer to live at the dormitory because, of course, it's cheaper. And we have capacity at the students' dormitory because it is somehow calculated, or the dormitory is provided according to the distance from the university to your home. So if you are from abroad, international students get the dormitory like the first, and then, for example, Slovak students have to find accommodation in private. But and we also have many web pages or some agencies who help foreign students to find accommodation if they prefer to live in a private apartment. So we have many of them, and they can be also found on our webpage, SAIA.sk. We have some section accommodation there, and there are the links for the agencies or some portals with accommodation.
All right, thank you so much. Next.
Mm-hmm. So for Latvia, there are many dormitory options. There's always a place in the dormitories for international students. So as I said, this can range starting from 70 euro per month in a shared accommodation, and go up to 350, for example, in the more private dormitories. But there many students, international students, choose to start by living in the dormitories, and once they are in Latvia and are integrated more and understand the whole processes, then they start to look for a private accommodation or like apartments they share with other international students. So this is the usual way, and the university admissions office always help the students on individual cases. So if they want to find dormitories, they get offer for dormitories. If they want private accommodation, they help them out with the links for the websites where to look for accommodation and with the different tips on how to work and how to look for an apartment in this case.
All right, thank you so much. Now, on the more practical, actionable steps for upcoming students, prospective students, what are the important dates for admission that international students need to pay attention to? Probably from Latvia first and then Slovakia.
So for international students, there's 2 application times actually. There's the winter admissions and there's the autumn admissions. So currently the winter admissions are still open, and these are like the last days to apply if you want to apply right now and still start the semester in February. But then when it comes to the starting semester in September, in the autumn, then the application deadline is usually towards the beginning of June, middle of June, depending on the university, as it's managed by each university individually in Latvia. So these vary a little bit, the dates, but yeah, if you want to apply for the next September, then the time would be to start in the spring and finish your application towards the beginning of June.
All right, thank you so much. So how's the situation is going to be like in Slovakia?
Yeah, the students have to be careful about the deadline for admission to Slovak universities, and we have only one intake. It's the application deadline is in spring. It depends on the university, and it's usually in May or April. So this is something that has to be taken into account. And I didn't mention, but we have also some scholarship programs. It's not for a full, we also have a scholarship program for full study, but also for shorter mobilities. So if some students from Indonesia would like to come to Slovakia and just to try how is to study in Slovakia, they can apply for one of our scholarship program. The name is the National Scholarship Program of the Slovak Republic, and it has 2 intakes or deadlines. Yesterday it was one of them, and it was for the summer semester of this academic year. And the second deadline is at the end of April, and it's for the next academic year. So really, if someone is interested in our country and would like to come for shorter mobility for 1 or 2 semesters, the next deadline will be at the end of April.
Okay, so we have a follow-up question on the admission part. So will there be any difference between the study programs between the winter application and spring application?
So yeah, there is no difference in the program. The length of the program is the same. It's just the starting month for the winter intake is February, and in such case you would also end the semester in a different month in comparison to the ones who start in September. So it's the same length, the program is the same, it's just the starting date is different. But this is not for all programs, so this is just for specific programs. So once you are looking for a program and found a program of your interest, just check if they have both intakes or just one, because it's not for all programs that they have the 2 intakes.
Okay, thank you so much. We have one more question on life as an international student. I think it's a follow-up question from the living expenses question that we've already addressed earlier. So how is it like for an international students in Latvia or Slovakia in trying to get a part-time job? Like, what are the common requirements? Like, do you need any like specific visa, for example, or do you need to learn more of the local languages or national languages in order to help boosting your chances of landing a part-time job? And for how long, for example, like all those details, maybe from Latvia first and then Slovakia.
Mm-hmm. So as an international student, once you have arrived in Latvia and have got your residence permit, you can automatically work as a bachelor student part-time and during the holidays full-time. And as a master's student and PhD student, you can work automatically full-time. So you don't need any extra documents. Your residence permit automatically allows you to work. When it comes to the language, knowing Latvian language can be an advantage if you want to work in a company where Latvian language is required, which is in many companies. However, there's a lot of international companies in Latvia as well who have established already strong ties in Latvia. And for that, you don't really need to know Latvian language. You can have a job placement just with English knowledge, or maybe your national language can be a highlighted thing that can help you with finding a job as well. And with helping to find a job, the universities have also these career councils or career council office that can help you find a job, and they will also advertise or show for the students that there are different companies looking for a job. So they work closely with the companies to find placements for the students, also to help them out with that. And they also organize career days where they welcome many companies into one sort of big hall, or sort of it's like an expo where the students can meet and interact with the companies to find a job placement, or just to explore what job opportunities are out there. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And how's it like in Slovakia?
Yeah, I think that it's very similar to Latvia, because students coming to full study in Slovakia, they have residence permit for the purpose of study, and at the same time, with the residence permit, they are allowed to have a part-time job, and it's the same for bachelor and master degree. So this is such a kind of difference between other countries, that also master students can have only part-time job, but then PhD students can work. And maybe interesting fact is that all PhD students from EU countries and also non-EU countries get monthly scholarship from state budget. So it's some kind of, let's say that employment for PhD students, because they are paid monthly for the state budget. And as it was mentioned, also Slovak universities organize some kind of career days, and almost each university has some kind of list of companies with which they cooperate, and they often publish also the job offers on the university web pages from these companies, from the industry, for example, etc. So it's connected.
All right, thank you so much. Another question on scholarship, because we already talked about this briefly when we were talking about the important dates for submission. So can you guys explore to me a little bit more about the scholarships that are available in both Latvia and Slovakia for international students that would work for Indonesian prospective students? The qualities seek in the recipients of the scholarships, and the average acceptance rate. We can start with Slovakia and then Latvia.
So we have several scholarship programs, and we can somehow divide them to scholarship programs for short mobilities and full study in Slovakia. As I already mentioned and described, one of them is the National Scholarship Program of the Slovak Republic. And this scholarship program is only for short-term mobilities. So it means that if someone is a student, PhD student, and it is also open for university teachers and researchers, they can come to Slovakia in the framework of this scholarship from 1 up to 10 months. The application deadline is twice a year, in October and at the end of April. And like applicants have to apply online to fill in the application form and to submit some documents which are required, for example, CV, then a program of the stay, then I think it's also acceptance letter from the Slovak university. So it means that a student can choose on which university he or she would like to go to study. And then what we have and what is totally new in Slovakia is a scholarship for full bachelor study in Slovakia. This is the first year of this scholarship, and it will continue in following years. And this scholarship is also open for all countries, so applicants from Indonesia are also eligible. And it's for a full bachelor study in Slovakia for all study programs. So we have these two scholarship programs. And the application deadline for this one, for full study in Slovakia, will be in a spring. This year it was the end of April, so I think that the next year it will be the same or similar. And the applicants are chosen according to the SAT tests, because the name of the scholarship program is that it's for talented students from abroad. So SAT test is required for this kind of scholarship.
All right, thank you very much. And can you elaborate a little bit more about the average acceptance rate, if you have any information on that matter?
Yeah, I have information about the short-term mobilities, because we administrate these scholarship programs, and let's say that more than half of applicants are successful from abroad. So it's very good to apply and to try. And regarding the full scholarship, we don't have that data yet, because this was the first year of it, and the application deadline was in April, and then it was somehow prolonged, because not so many people knew about this scholarship. So we still don't have the data that how many students got this scholarship. But it's new, so the chance to get it is very, very high.
Okay, that sounds promising. Thank you so much. How's it like in Latvia?
So yeah, we have the Latvian state scholarship that I mentioned, which could be put towards covering the tuition fee or living expenses as the student arranges. So for this, the application, the call for applications is open from 1st of February to 1st of April every year. So for bachelor students, you can apply starting from the second year. For master students and PhD students, already starting from the first year, because you need to show at least 2 semesters of higher education. So this is one of the things. So you need to show your transcript of records or your bachelor's degree if you're studying for master's, or your master's degree for PhD. So another thing is your CV, your motivation letter, where you need to show why you want to study in Latvia, why specifically that program, what extracurricular activities you have done on your own, or voluntary work within the field that you're interested in. Also recommendation letters from your professors, and acceptance letter from the university. These are just a few of the things, and the list can be found on our website also, and we have the brochure on the booth you can find about the scholarship as well. This scholarship is also available for summer schools for both students and teaching and academic staff as well. So to sort of have an introduction into life and studies in Latvia. So this is a great opportunity to join one of our supported summer schools. You just have to pay for the flights, but the accommodation and the summer school, the teaching tuition is all covered by the scholarship. And as I said, Indonesian students are all eligible for both of these sort of scholarships to have sort of introduction into studies in Latvia. So the summer school might be a great opportunity just to see that. And yes, about the acceptance rate, so the 1 out of 4 students gets accepted. So it's a merit-based scholarship when it comes to the for the studies and living expenses, the €500 per month. This is so yeah, there's 1 out of 4 students will get this, as long as you have good academic standing, high grades, and you fill out all the application documents as required, and you have really high chances of getting this scholarship.
All right. Thank you very much. It's been a very insightful and encouraging session, and I do hope that the audience joining in the session has a lot of things to take away, and that's probably informed them to start making moves to apply for studying in Latvia or Slovakia. So thank you again, everyone, for being here and sharing with us how's it like to study in Latvia and Slovakia, and for everyone joining on YouTube for your time and questions. Unfortunately, we have a very limited time to address all your questions, but don't worry, they're not going to be left unanswered. So before we conclude the session, I would like to invite our speakers to share about your institution and how we can get more information. We can start with Slovakia and then Latvia.
Well, so on this webpage you can see, or on the screen you can see our webpage, SAIA.sk. We have more web pages, for example, study in Slovakia.sk, where you can get all important information which are needed for international students who would like to come to Slovakia. And of course, you can get in touch with us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc. And we will be very glad to answer all your questions. And we will be more glad if you choose Slovakia as a study destination. So feel free to contact us after the fair, and we will be glad to assist you and answer the questions.
Okay, thank you very much. So study in Latvia, your turn.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, for us, you also can see the website on the screen right now, studyinlatvia.lv, and this provides all information necessary for international students. You can find in the study section all the study programs that are English taught study programs. You can see the university profiles. You can also apply for the studies through our website. So once you open the university or the study program profile, there's a button apply now, and you can get directly to the online application form of the university. You can find all the information about scholarships, living costs, and everything you need as an international student wanting to study in Latvia. You can also find us on social media, similarly to Slovakia, on Instagram and Facebook, and contact us via email as well. The email is indicated both in our virtual profile of this international fair, but also on our website. You can find the email and always ask. Email is actually the same, study in Latvia at vaia.lv, and you can write any questions you may have, and we'll be happy to answer. And you can ask now also if you have the time via the virtual booth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for making the time to be here and sharing with us. So also, I would like to remind the audience that you still have time until 6 p.m. today to visit more than 80 booths joining EHEF 2023, where you could chat directly with representatives from universities and country embassies alike, including the speakers joining us in this session right now. You could also meet them in person in Surabaya on November 8, Jakarta on November 11 to 12, and Bandung on November 14. Thanks for joining us, and see you in Surabaya, Jakarta, and Bandung. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.